Wait for a few people to come on inside. And this is something I've been meaning to get off. I need to just really get this off my chest and really talk about this. Some stuff. Got two people in here watching. That's good. So, I'll start talking. The purpose of me titling this particular stream "Message to America" is because this is something that America needs to hear. Now, what we're dealing with right now, situations that's going on with El Paso, Texas, Dayton, Ohio, Gilroy, California, the mass shootings. This is not something that we should be surprised about. Hey, what's going on? Yes, Selena, Ted. Hey, how you doing? Appreciate you coming. Welcome. Anyway, yeah, what's been going on should not be a surprise to nobody. That's as far as these mass shootings. We're dealing with a situation right now, I believe, and I made this before, but we talk about how the saying that we say that God bless America. The truth be told is that America needs to bless God. I'm gonna just go on and put it out there like that. We need to go back to blessing God, because that is something that we're not doing enough of. That's something we've gotten away from, and that's one of the reasons why these things are happening. Now, granted, we are living in the last days, and it was said that these times will come. But the thing is this: a lot of times we've been getting too lackadaisical. We've gotten to the point where we've just gotten too lax. We've let our guards down too much. What's up, Annette? How you doing, Queen? Glad to see you. Oh, okay. Thank you, Annette. But we're living in some perilous times. These situations going on with these mass shootings, I wanted to focus on that primarily because basically what's happening, it's like it's a pattern. See what's going on right here with the situation in El Paso, Texas, the mass shooter there. They found a manifesto saying what he wanted to do, that how he was upset about the fact of the immigrants and people coming in. Now I kind of understand where he's coming from. Okay, we don't like outsiders coming and taking our jobs, but the way he's going about doing it, he was expressing his views, that how he felt all along, white supremacist views and ideologies. But who's to say that it wasn't just immigrants that he was feeling that way about? But the fact that he went out and did that, he could feel that way about any of us. What am I saying is that these things should not come as a surprise to any of us, because this is something that has been ingrained in the American psyche since America was founded. This has been ingrained since we've been living in this society known as the United States of America. We're dealing with a day and age where America has got to be made to face its sins and what's been happening. And basically what I'm saying is that we live in a society today where things such as racism are not being confronted head on. You see, what's been going on, if you notice, a lot of these mass shootings are not taking place in the so-called areas that they deem the hood. They're not taking place in the so-called bad neighborhoods, as they call them. They're taking place in these areas, that these fortresses, these thrones that they built to themselves to keep everyone else out, the so-called safe spaces that they thought they were in. That's where they're taking place. Like, for example, the situation that was in Ohio yesterday, Dayton. I read that that was supposed to be in what's supposed to be like the entertainment complex, the safe area. Basically, what they did, so what they're telling you, what they're saying is this: they're building these areas, these things to keep us out, the so-called undesirables out. But what they fail to realize is that the undesirables are in their population as well, and they're locking themselves up with these folks. So it's no one that's on the outside that's doing it. It's somebody that's coming in that's within their own. It's an inside job. And I also want to look at it as basically this white male resentment. White male resentment because basically what's happening is white supremacy is on its last leg. They're losing their way of life. They're losing, they're losing a grip on things, and like a petulant child, they're throwing a tantrum. They don't want to let go. They don't want to share power, and it's always been that way. They're being made to face it. I was riding with a Lyft driver yesterday, and he even had to admit that as far as the dog whistles that Trump has been blowing, that he's uttering out his racism. But this is something that America does not want to call out. America don't want to call out the obvious elephant in the room, which is racism, discrimination, sexism, among other things. But one of the main things, racism. This has been a plague. This has been the green-eyed monster that has been here since America was founded. It is entrenched in American history, racism. The founding fathers of this country founded it under the guise of racism. Now, don't get me wrong. America is still the greatest nation. America is still, I still believe there's hope for America. I still believe that we can turn this around, but this has got to be called out. This is something that needs to be talked about. See, we're living in this PC culture where everyone's afraid to offend others and afraid to talk about something because they don't want to make people uncomfortable. But guess what? People like me have been uncomfortable in this system, and have been uncomfortable with these. Hey, Queen Mayat, what's going on, sister? My people have been uncomfortable in this wicked system, these redlining and housing, these profilings. We're uncomfortable with being called the police on us over on simple things, doing simple everyday stuff. You mean to tell me that it is basically a way of life for them to call the police on folks having a barbecue in a park, on children selling lemonade? See, this is something that needs to be talked about. And the shootings that's going on, once again, my condolences and my heartfelt prayers do go out to the victims of these shootings. But I want to go in and talk about it right now. If you notice who's doing the shootings, it is not somebody from my community. It's not someone that they labeled a gang member, someone walking around with their pants sagging, wearing a bandana, and speaking broken English. It's not hip hop. It's none of that. All the stuff that they put labels on to deem something as a bad seed, it is not that. It is those within their own community that they fail to realize, that they refuse to realize. Because, see, they're so much on code that they don't air out their dirty laundry. But see, what's done in the dark is going to be exposed into the light anyway. Because see, what's happening is this. They're being forced to deal with it. They can't hide this because it's constantly being thrown in their face. They're constantly being reminded of the nature of the beast. They're constantly being reminded that they are not immune to these so-called issues that they want to put off on everyone else. That's what's going on today. That's what's going on with the situations that's going on in El Paso, Texas, and Dayton, Ohio. And let's not forget about Gilroy, California. Because see, that happened also, the Garlic Festival. We can't label that out. You have a system and a generation of white males that don't want to give up power. They want things to remain the same, and as if they didn't already have privilege as if they didn't already have an entire system that they benefit from. That's not enough for them. They still want more and more power, and they're getting it by any means necessary. That's why we as a people, we need to understand these laws. We need to stop going in on each other. We need to stop spending time at the club and at the pub. We need to stop spending time getting on these platforms and talking about black women's hair, weave, and makeup, and start talking about black men being trifling and lazy. And what we need to do is we need to learn to embrace each other and come together. I keep repeating myself because I want the message to get clear that we literally, all we have out there is us. Now, one thing I was paying attention to, particularly in the Dayton, Ohio shooting, was that many of the victims were black. Not to mention, one of the victims was even the shooter's own sister. Now, whether he knew it was his sister or if he knew she was out there, if he did it intentionally, the thing is that hate can be so strong, hate can be so consuming that it can even take out the ones that you love. That's how hate works. Hate works like it is basically an all-consuming fire that never gets quenched and doesn't go out. We can't afford to be PC. We can't afford to stop, to be walking on eggshells and be afraid to step on people's toes. Those days are over with. We got to deal with some real serious situations out here. We need to be alert. We need to be sober-minded. We need to be in shape. We need to be in all these. And yeah, I know I'm saying that we need to get our heads out of these phones and stuff. I realize to y'all that I am doing this live stream on my phone, but at the same time, I'm watching everywhere I am right now, looking at everything. Because even if something were to jump off in mid live stream, I may be interrupted. I may just cut the stream short, but letting you know that I'm being alert also. I'm leading by example. And I'm saying this, I'm not trying to frighten people. I'm not trying to get everyone in a paranoia, in a panic. I don't want people to be scared. Relax. But I just want us to be more alert. I want us to be more aware of what's going on around us. I want us to know what's going on. What up, Filthy Frank? Queen My TV. What's going on, everyone? Glad you all stopped in. Because we're dealing with some situations right here. It's like the things that they deemed, like I said earlier, I want to reiterate back what I was saying. The so-called neighborhoods that they deemed as bad neighborhoods, and I was listening to Nicole's View yesterday. She even hit on the same thing. That all the neighborhoods that they say is the hood that's bad, those aren't the neighborhoods those aren't the people they need to be worried about. Those things that they don't need to be worried about those. No, what they need to be worried about is those within their own communities. But see, I never thought that I would see this in my lifetime, in this day and age, that you can go to a shopping mall out with your family and have to worry about not coming back home that night. But this is the day and age that we're living in. We are living in these times, and we need to act like we're living in these times.
It's kind of like if you're like saying bye.
Once again, I'm still not saying be paranoid. That's not what I'm getting at. I don't want people to be paranoid. I want people to go out to enjoy themselves. I want everyone to see the world. See, we need to go out there and remind each other of what's going on. We need to go out there and see things. We need to. Yeah, exactly, Queen Ma'at TV. That's exactly it. The enemy wins if we cower in fear. Exactly. What up, Fluffy? How you doing, Queen? Everyone, this is Fooling with Fluffy. Fluffy's got some really good content. She's also got some good tips on how to be on YouTube. She spent time at VidCon where I should have been. Um, yeah, everyone go hit up Fooling with Fluffy. She's a real sweetheart. I love her a lot. Fooling with Fluffy. This is everyone. Say hello. But I'm just breaking down to everyone what we're dealing with in today's day and age. So we're not. This is not kindergarten. We're not dealing with. We're not dealing with the school bully, the way you can just take them to the principal and just let them be reprimanded there. Now, we're dealing with some serious situations in the world today, and we need to act like it. Another thing too I wanted to mention, the how we have this saying, y'all, called God bless America. I hear you, Filthy Frank, right? Anyway, so there's this saying out called God bless America, right? Been hearing people say that for a long time. But you know what the thing is? One thing that's certain is that God has been blessing America. He's been blessing America and the whole world. He does it every day. The fact that we wake up every morning and can breathe and be in our right mind, we can walk on our legs, use our limbs without the use of machines and breathing machines, that's Him blessing us. What the thing is that needs to happen is that America needs to go back to blessing God. See, that's the thing that people tend to forget. I'm not trying to preach a sermon here. I just want to prove a point. I want to get something out there, get a message out there that God's already blessing us. He never stopped blessing us. And too many times, and I've been guilty of this myself, we take so many things for granted. We forget. We just think that something's going to automatically happen, and I'm not thankful enough. And I think what's happening right now is a slap on the wrist, because it's basically like when you sweep trash under a rug, you try to keep it there and think it's going to stay there. But the more and more trash that you sweep under the rug, eventually it's going to spill over and it's going to be exposed. Well, that's believed to me is the situation that's happening with America right now. All these past sins of racism that they tried to sweep under the rug and everything else, it is coming back to haunt them. It's basically reminiscent of what Malcolm X once said a long time ago. The chickens are coming home to roost. And it has never been a time than right now that statement could be true. What's up, Kyle Watts? Kyle Watts said America cannot bless God when the deep state decapitalized other countries to benefit from war. Right? What's up, Nikki C, Divine Perfection? Yo, this is Nikki C. This is a good friend of mine. This is another sweet woman. And now, if you're ever in California, she has her own hair salon called Star VIP. She'll do you do. She'll do you up good. For a nominal fee, of course, but she'll take care of you. So, yeah. But that's the thing that's the thing I want to just mention, that we just need to get back to get. What's up, Sonia Seas? How you doing, Queen? Yeah, Sonia, you're right. It's all coming to a head. It really is. See, and people think this is a game. People are playing around too much. Man, thank you for all the 10 people here. Now, I mean, people just think that this is something that they can just continue to ignore and just get away from. But that's the problem. Everyone, when they long time ago, y'all, decades ago, when they thought that they could leave the inner cities, right? They left the inner cities. They thought they were getting away from the plague, from the problem, which is us. And lo and behold, the situations, the boogeymen that they were fearing was within their own community. And I've said it before. I'll say it again. This is them not wanting to let go of power. They don't want to let go. They don't want to relinquish the reins. They don't want to share the power. And that's just it. This is them being butthurt, all up in their fee-fees because they can't get what they want to get when they want to get it. So what I'm saying is this: be prepared. See, be sober and be vigilant. I wonder how the border wall will make things safer and better when the killers are domestic. Queen Mod TV, you just said a mouthful right there, and you on point with that one. But once again, that's because they keep always trying to put the face of a killer on some foreign national or some other entity. They don't look at the person that they see in the mirror, because see, they're so busy benefiting from the system that they designed purely for them. And it's coming back kicking them in the ass. That's really what's happening. But you know what though? It's going to be good. It's going to be all good. It's going to be all good. Because one thing, I said this before. The first time when 45 was elected, I looked at it from a positive sense. I looked at it from the sense that him being in office was the fire that was supposed to be lit under the black community's ass collectively. That's what it was supposed to be. And I still look at it that way. But I see that some of us are still, some of us are getting there, don't get me wrong. Some of us are waking up. But some of us are still stuck up in this so-called American dream, still stuck up in this, oh, we done made it mentality, that we don't have to do nothing. I mean, I don't care how much money you have. I don't care how much material wealth you have. You're not immune to it. And that's another thing too, reminds me of all these ADOS conversations. I'm glad the ADOS talks are going, because yeah, we do deserve reparations. We need to get reparations. ADOS needs to be talked about. It needs to be put on the ballot. But none of these presidential candidates are talking about it. We already know Kamala Harris and Cory Booker and the rest of these other folks are not talking about it. That's why we need to be the media. We need to be the ones to continue to put that on everyone's mind. We need to let them know that you gave reparations and things to everyone else. You gave everyone else their 40 acres and a mule. Everyone else what to do to them, but you won't do anything for us. And you know what? It's not right, and what's happening to them is that they're being dealt with in a way that they didn't want to be dealt with. And they're getting hit hard. Yeah, they're getting hit really hard with it. But that's one way though to get someone's attention, is to light a fire under them. And I'm not letting us off the hook either, because we still need to go back to the business of cleaning up our own community. See, the thing about us as a people And they know this, and they play upon the fact that as a race of people, we're very emotional. We get caught up in so many other issues. We get caught up in so many other people's plights and problems, but not our own. Do you not realize that they're using your emotion to turn it around against you? Because these same issues in immigrants that you got caught up on and are being so soulful eyed on, they're not going to raise one finger for you. They're not going to raise one finger. I mean, think about it. I think Elijah Cummings recently just got his coon wake-up call when Trump asked him about the situation in Baltimore with the rats and everything in his own city. But yet he was so caught up on what's happening with the immigrants. See, and when I saw Nyla's news today, she broke it down, but she made it clear, and I understood too what she meant now. Now, cause see, she made it make sense. I'm like, yeah, she is right. Yeah, she's right about that. So Nyla, if you're watching this, I appreciate that. I get what you meant. Because Elijah Cummings, he's so caught up in everyone else's, the immigrants and their babies and their plights. But what about your own city, Baltimore? What about the high crime right there? What about the people that are homeless there? What about them? What you need to be doing is focus on that. That's where ADOS comes in, though. See, ADOS, this is about Black American people that are descendants of African slaves standing up and taking charge of what's going on in our own community. We cannot be focused on what everyone else is doing. This doesn't mean Africans from the continent. This isn't talking about Caribbean-born people. Even though you're still our family as well, but we need to sweep behind our own whatever it is I'm trying to say. It's time that Black Americans, we need to sweep our own house up. We need to worry about what our issues are in our own community. That's not to say that we don't still love you as our brothers and sisters in the struggle. We do. We do have love for everyone else in the diaspora. But that's all I want to get out there, is that as a people, we gotta get more on the ball. We have to be more alert. We have to be more what's the word I'm looking for? It'll come back to me. But the thing is that we gotta just get off of everyone's bandwagon and get back and deal with our own immediate situation. We gotta we have definitely got to do that. So let's see what everyone's saying in the chat. Sonia sees what's happening. Sister said the ghetto is becoming the safest place now. They fill up our black spaces. Buy up land and property. Yeah, I agree. And you know what, Sonia? You just said something. I've been saying this for a long time, but there's going to be a time where the hood is going to be the safest place. They're going to be looking for refuge in the hood. See, I remember when the 9/11 happened, they didn't come to the projects. They came and attacked the centers where everything is. That's what they did. And Kawa says there's a talk about military personnel are committing suicide. Yep, I heard that too. Yep. Yeah, everybody's speaking it. Spit that realness, people. You need to hear that. Thank you, Nikki. See, what up, brother Danubian? Hey, Monique, how you doing, Queen? Monique Hill in the building. I'm so glad all my people back. But it's time to stop all this. It's just time to wake up. And all these euphemisms that we use like woke. You know what? Whatever. Okay. I mean, we should be alert anyway. But that's just it. So we look, like I said before, my prayers and condolences go out to the victims of the shootings. But at the same time, I'm gonna say this: I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. See, because when you constantly keep doing people, let's just say this: what goes around comes around. And so far, for decades, America has been ignoring racism practice against African Americans. Has been ignoring all these other atrocities historically and presently. And now they're being forced to deal with a situation that they didn't think happened. If you pay attention to the news, right, they always have them saying something, they always say something like this: you know, I never thought that would happen in this neighborhood, never thought that would happen here. We never thought that, man, we didn't think that would happen here. They always say that because once again they build up these walls and these fortresses for them to be in. But what they're doing is that they're building the real enemies in there with them. Filthy Frank says Sonia sees Obama's real father is an African American man from Chicago named Frank Marshall Davis. So yeah, we definitely do. I agree. We do need to put ADOS on the ballot. We do need to do that. That's right. Cut the damn check. I want my reparations. I mean, they're doing see, think about it. All of these other groups, right, have benefited and appropriated our struggle for so long. They have been benefiting and appropriating our culture. They have been basically they've been getting all the resources that's rightfully due us, and but we're being denied it. And now America is being forced to deal with the kickback and the blowback from it. So that's what's happening right now. So no, I'm not getting all teary-eyed over what's happening to them right now. But then again, we as people, we as black people, the fault I find with us is that we don't hold no one accountable. We don't get on these politicians' cases enough. We're too busy waging war on each other. We're too busy getting on these platforms and waging these gender wars on one another. That's what we're too busy doing. I'm getting tired of that also. I'm sick and tired of black men talking about black women and black women talking about black men. I'm so tired of it. And I do agree that we look at to get off this so-called kick of what, first of all, and I've been guilty of using this term too, but exactly what is a black sector? I mean, why do we have to have always these separation, these divisive terminologies when it comes to dealing with us? Why can't we just operate within the collective and do things the way we would do them? Because there's other channels I do listen to also. Every channel I listen to is not always a black-centered channel. I listen to other people too. I mean, it's good to be diverse and listen to other groups, listen to other channels. I mean, I like listening to other things too. I like listening to a lot of filmmaking channels. I love listening to the business type of channels. As black people, we got to get out of this mindset that we can only do things from a black perspective. Do things from a black perspective, but we can only deal with black things. We got to get out of that mindset. You can still be B1 and operate within a circle that's not necessarily filled with black people. You can still do that. And B1, you know what, shouldn't even be a label. B1 be something that's by default what you are. You know, I'm B1 simply for the fact that I'm a black man. I'm B1 just off the strength of that. So of course I'm black first. I'm black first because, well, I'm black. And that's the way we need to look at this. We need to stop running with these labels. We need to stop running with all this other worldly stuff and just be us. Oh, sorry about that. Sorry about that, family. There's other channels, but we definitely need to separate, have an agenda when dealing with others like others do with us. That's right, Sonia. Yeah, I agree with you on that. We do. And see, the thing is that we gotta stop letting people tell us that we're racist, but the fact is that we want to do something for us. We gotta stop letting that happen. Because other groups have been practicing, other groups are practicing exclusivity within their own. We need to do the same thing. Yeah, and we can learn from others. We can do all of that. We can, we are people. We don't have to get great. We can just be great. We already are great. Be who we are. Be what we are. That's just what that is. We are a race of great people. And we gotta stop letting outsiders dictate to us the outrage we need to feel. Stop letting people fabricate and manufacture our outrage. We'll decide what we're outraged at. Is Cali really a graveyard for blacks? Is it really dead? A no-go? No, I wouldn't say that. I would say California, it does have a high Hispanic population, but no, it's not a graveyard for blacks. I don't believe that for 1 second, because I believe that there's still hope. And I'm going to still make a way. I'm going to still be great regardless. We can achieve anything that everyone else can. We can get the same things everyone else has. And we don't need to, we may need to work harder than everyone else, true enough, but we have to do that anyway, because that's the type of people we are. We've always worked harder than anyone else. We just don't get credited for it. We just don't get the acknowledgement for it. But we do work just as hard as everyone else. Yeah, Skid Row is definitely something that needs to be dealt with. It being, I mean, you already know I know, because I'm a former resident of Skid Row. But see, that's another eyesore. That's another elephant in the room. And the city of Los Angeles has been called out on it. So it will be dealt with. But I agree. I mean, think about it. You got a city that's known for stars and this image and all that stuff and being a high place of fashion, but you got all these homeless people laying around here. So yeah, it's being dealt with because they have to deal with it. See, that's the unfortunate part to be made to deal with something instead of just dealing with it head on. But because they ignored it for so long, of course, now they're being made to deal with it because it's affecting them. It's affecting their money. It's affecting their lifestyle and way of life. It's affecting their psyche and their mentality, so to speak. Sonny said, I've never been to LA, just passed through on the bus or train. Well, you know what, Sonia? You should come out here. Come out here and experience it. Walk around in it. I think you should. Because you know what? In spite of being what it is and what people say it is, I'm still out here pursuing what it is I'm doing. And I've been fortunate enough to indulge in many of these activities. I've produced some films out here. I've shot some music videos. I've done these things. And I have proof to go with it. So yeah, by all means, still come out here and pursue what it is you want. Because I don't regret the decision to move out here, not one bit. I don't. And it's only going to get greater. And that's the type of attitude that I have. It's going to get better. It's going to get greater, y'all. It's going to get greater. So come out here and experience it. Come out here and... No, I don't have an agent. I don't know if I'll ever have one. I guess it would depend on how big I get. But no, I don't currently have an agent. Kyle Watts says, the forest fires keep you away? Well, you know what, Kai, that actually I live in the city. We're actually pretty safe from the fires. See, the fires are usually in the wooded areas or where people want to, the forested areas and stuff where people want to live. Out there in those open type of areas, the fires really don't affect us here in the city. Four or 5 hour stories. Yeah, because there's a lot of mountains over there by the 405. But even then, they still don't cross over here. We're still pretty much at a safe distance from them. But yeah, I have seen the fires and stuff myself, but the fires are not going to affect you. Rent expensive? Yeah, the rent is definitely expensive, true enough. But the transit, well, the bus system out here is actually pretty decent. They're actually expanding a lot of services. But you know what, y'all? Even though the bus service and stuff is here, you still need a car out here. Oh, I'm sorry about that, Kai. Sorry about that. Yeah, but yeah, we still need a car. I'm still wanting to get a car. You know what? Earthquakes, brush fires, that all happens out here. I've experienced a small earthquake, but you know what? All that stuff out here, they've actually retrofitted a lot of structures out here to withstand even the strongest quakes. Bottom line is that, listen, people are afraid of so many things. All these, people have all these old wives' tales. I've heard this before, that they say California is going to get the big one. It's going to fall into the ocean. I've heard that long before I even moved out here. But you know what? These are all things. We live in a culture of fear. Of people are just trying to play off of folks' fears. And you know what fear is, y'all? The definition of fear is false evidence appearing real. That's what fear is. Right, Monique, I hear you. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've been living out here for 6 years, and I love it. I mean, LA in some ways reminds me of my hometown, Chicago. But you know what? Don't let that be a deterrent for you to come and follow your dreams. By all means, follow it. What's up, May Kim? How you doing? Thank you for showing up. Haven't seen you in a long time. Glad to see you. Long time no see. I mean, to me, LA is still a safe place. I mean, still a good place to be. I'd rather be in LA than some of these out of the way hick towns and stuff. These sundown towns. Hell, LA is the inner city to me is much safer than that. How much is one? I don't understand what you're asking. Right, Monique Chirac. How much is one? I'm not, I don't know what you're. What do you mean by that, Sonia? Oh, a 1-bedroom. Okay. Well, I have a roommate. Man, I think a 1-bedroom here could probably be starting maybe $1,000. Well, that's a studio in the thousands. A 1-bedroom could probably be in the thousands on up. Well, Macomb, actually, gentrification is happening in some parts of LA, particularly South Central. I mean, but you know what though? In some instances, get what I'm saying, gentrification is not a bad thing, but if you're not careful, you can't be priced out. That's why blacks, we need to be a part of these city councils and be a part of these city planning meetings, these town hall meetings. That's why we need to be a part of that. We need to get our voices out there. Oh, you're thinking about Seattle, huh? I've been to Seattle before. But I heard that Seattle is Seattle's kind of gutter in some areas. I mean, I've been to Seattle one time. I mean, I had a chance to walk around it and all, but I've been to Sacramento. It might be a good spot. You heard that Seattle was a graveyard? Well, yeah, Seattle's kind of it's kind of out there too as well. But bottom line is this. I think home is where the heart is. You know what, truth be told? Hey, Nikki. Oh, I'm over here down the street from home, Nikki. I'm over here just walking around in Hollywood. Yeah. But I think home is where the heart is, because truth be told, y'all, there is really nowhere on the planet that you can go that's going to be completely problem free. I mean, you're going to have some areas that's, I mean, let's just face it, you're going to have some areas that's going to have some crime in it and stuff. I don't know not one place on the planet Earth that's crime free, problem free, and anything like that. So bottom line is this, we just need to get back on the ball, get back being on alert, and stop letting people speak fear into our lives. Because that's what we live in. We live in a culture that's based off of people's fears, based off of people's primal nature. And we have to stop letting people sway us into believing that something is wrong. Best thing I can say is experience something for yourself. That's right. I would like to find a heart move there. But man, y'all, I mean, I really enjoy these. And if you all saw my video earlier, I put myself on a challenge to make a video a day for this entire week, because I need to work on my watch hours and also need to get more out there and engaging with my audience. That's what I need to do. I'm also going to be launching my Patreon soon. Glad for that. And everyone just support me at paypal.me/RealAaronCollins. That's my PayPal link. Y'all, I mean, I can't reiterate this enough, but we definitely do need to support each other financially as well as morally, mentally, spiritually. We need to do all that. So yeah, let's get on each other's platforms, and each other's PayPals and Patreons. Let's do that. I'm working on that myself. I'm supporting people as well. See, I'm not just talking to people and not including myself in it. I put myself in this also. I try to lead by example. I really do. And I thank you all for just always being there for me. I thank you all's loyalty to me and all that and everyone else. So as you know, I was listening to Information Man one day, and Information Man said something that was so profound and made so much sense. Because as a lot of you all know, we no longer have Google Hangouts on air. Now Google Hangouts does still exist, but you can only do chatting in it. You can only do the texting portion as well as the back chat stuff. We can still even talk to each other, call each other up, and talk to each other in the back chat. But Google Hangouts on air and doing the panels, that is no longer here. But Information Man said something that made so much sense, that really the panel stuff is basically just what that is for people that are talking. But the real content creating is when we do the pre-recorded stuff, and we get out there and we edit stuff and get out there and put our effects in there. That's the real content creating. The preloads, the uploads that we do, that's the real content creating. And I even go as far as to say that this, what we're doing right here, these live streams is the real content creating. That's content creating right there. That's the real YouTubing stuff. And I agree. But don't get me wrong, because I still will get on panels, because you have on platforms now, everyone, if you haven't heard of this, check out this platform called StreamYard. StreamYard is a pretty decent platform. Also check out, some people are doing OBS, and check out Zoom. But I had a chance to check out StreamYard. I signed up for it. Not to mention I was on a panel last night with my brother Life Machine Power out of Canada. Support him, and he did a pretty good panel. No, StreamYard was pretty decent. Matter of fact, StreamYard's a little bit better than Hangouts, because with StreamYard, it's got the Brady Bunch style of paneling, to where you see everyone all together. Oh man, is that true? Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles is closing? I didn't hear that, Sonia. You're the first that I heard that from. I hope not. They got some good food. But let me ask this question: if it was closing, how many of us are going to get out there and try to prevent it from closing? Or are we going to let it be closed like a lot of other things that we let get away from us. See, that's the thing. We don't fight enough for our establishments and the things that we deem to be sacred. We got to get out and fight for what's ours. But I hope that's not the case. I hope Roscoe's isn't closing. I pray that it's not closing. But yeah, that was one of the main things, my main gripe is I wanted to get out there and give this message to America to deal with your ugly past and to deal with your history and your present, to deal with what you have to deal with and stop trying to sweep it under the rug. Because that's the reason why these things keep happening. And like I said, when you say stuff like, I thought this would never happen here, that's just a telltale sign of saying that you don't care about everyone else. That's right, Car Watch. We do fight for other people's stuff too much. And I made that clear too. We're so quick to jump on everyone else's bandwagon. We don't fight for each other enough. And Sonia said that you need to open up shop. Well, hell, let's do it. And may come. Okay, so what happened is that Google got rid of the Hangouts feature of being on air. That meaning the panels. I mean, Hangouts is still there, but you can now only use it to just do back chat type of stuff. You can only talk to the back chat. You can't do panels no more. But there are other replacements to do panels on YouTube. There's a platform called StreamYard. It's browser based. It's not an app. It's browser based, and you have to sign up for it. They have two versions. There's a free version and a paid version. You can get up to 6 people on the panel. The guys that designed it, they did a pretty good job. They're still in the they're still working on it. It's still in development stages. But from what I've seen so far, I like it. And then there's also Zoom. There's another app called Zoom. I heard Zoom is pretty good too. I heard with Zoom on the panel, y'all, I heard that you can get up to about 100 people on a panel. That's scary. I mean, it's hard enough dealing with 5 and 10 people on a panel, let alone 100 people. But the fact that you have that option, that's good. So, yeah, you can still go stream. You still do streaming. You can still do live streams. Make them. That just changed. But yeah, but Information Man was right. The real content creating is in the preloaded, is in the pre-recorded stuff. So that's what we need to focus on that. I'm not saying stop doing panels, but they're definitely, see what I'm doing right now with the Make a Video a Day challenge. That's my way of disciplining myself to stop procrastinating and go out there and go on and do what I need to do. That's me disciplining myself. That's my way of doing it. Okay, you don't do panels, okay. But yeah, still, yeah. And some people don't like to do panels, and I get that. But anyway, family, man, I'm so glad I did this. I can get out and talk to y'all. But it's about an hour. I'm about to wrap it up. But man, I love every last one of y'all. You know what, Sonya? Let's stop procrastinating together. But anyway, y'all, I love you all. Like I said, support the channel at paypal.me/The Real Aaron Collins. Patreon account's gonna be launched soon. Eventually, I'll even get all right, make them. Eventually, I'll even get a Cash App because I do believe in finances. What's up? Hey, Mickey Love, how you doing, beautiful queen? Oh man, you came here right just as I'm about to wrap it up, but you can catch the playback. I miss seeing you though, love. I hope you've been well. How have you been, Mickey? I'm well. I'm well. Just talking to the family about some things and sharing some stuff and just walking around out here. That's good. I'm glad you've been well. Everyone, this is Mickey Love. She's a sweetheart. Go on and support her. She's got something good to tell you. Oh, it's dark where you are? Oh, wow. I hope I'm going to get the lights back on soon. But yeah, catch the playback. And I'll be back. Anyway, family, I love you all. Everyone, let's keep on supporting each other. And the one thing that's important, be vigilant, be alert, keep your head on a swivel, but don't be paranoid. But always be watchful. Keep your eyes open. All right? Love you all. God bless you.